More backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis after their video explaining why they wrote letters of support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson.
41-year-old actor, he arrived for court this morning in a blue suit, seeming very nervous.
More backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Muniz after their video explaining why they wrote letters of support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson. 41-year-old actor he arrived for court this morning in a blue suit, seeming very nervous for over 2 decades. Rumors have swirled about what really happened during Ashton Kutcher's meteoric rise to fame. Behind his signature smile and comedic charm lay a web of untold stories, hidden tragedies and dark secrets that Hollywood managed to keep under wraps. But what pushed this seemingly carefree actor to finally break his silence as court documents emerge and witnesses step forward? The true story behind Ashton Kutcher's 25-year journey is more complex than anyone imagined. It all began with a birth that would change the course of two lives forever. A tale of two brothers. The morning Diane Kutcher headed to the hospital to give birth, she had no idea she was carrying twins. In fact, it wasn't until 5 minutes after delivering her first son, Ashton, that doctors surprised her with news of a second baby, Michael. Kutcher entered the world weighing just 4 pounds, immediately triggering concerns among medical staff. The complications during delivery had left Michael deprived of oxygen, leading to what would later be diagnosed as cerebral palsy. Growing up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the Kutcher family approached Michael's condition with remarkable resilience. Rather than dwelling on limitations, they celebrated each brother's unique abilities. A young Ashton demonstrated extraordinary devotion to his twin, refusing to attend sleepovers unless Michael could join. But beneath his protective exterior, Ashton harbored a deep sense of guilt about his own health compared to his brother's struggles. The brothers' bond faced its greatest test during their 8th grade year. Michael developed what initially seemed like flu symptoms, but the diagnosis was devastating: viral myocarditis, a condition causing his heart to dangerously enlarge. Doctors delivered the grim news that Michael had only 3 to 4 weeks to live. What happened next would haunt Ashton for decades. As he stood by his brother's hospital bed, Michael flatlined. In a moment of desperate panic, Ashton made an extraordinary proposal to his parents. He offered his own heart for his brother. The teenage Ashton, believing his heart would be a perfect match due to their twin status, was willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. Fortunately, within 24 hours, a heart from an accident victim in another state became available, and Michael received a successful transplant. This brush with mortality profoundly shaped both brothers' futures. While Michael went on to become an advocate for organ donation and disability rights, Ashton carried the weight of this experience into his emerging adult life. The guilt of being the healthy twin, mixed with profound gratitude for his brother's survival, created a complex emotional foundation that would influence his later decisions. But just as the Kutcher family thought they had weathered their greatest storm, a different kind of trouble was brewing. During his senior year of high school, Ashton found himself caught up in an incident that would reshape his path entirely. As the Golden Boy's perfect image began to crack, no one could have predicted how this mishap would accidentally launch him toward Hollywood stardom. What exactly went down during that fateful night that turned a straight-A student into an overnight criminal, and how did it inadvertently lead to his big break? The making of Michael Kelso. What started as a simple plan to steal test answers spiraled into a life-changing moment for A. Along with his cousin, he broke into Cedar Rapids, Washington High School, triggering a silent alarm that brought police racing to the scene. When his stepdad received the call about Ashton's arrest, his response was simple yet devastating: "Have a good night," followed by the click of the phone hanging up. The consequences were swift and severe. The court handed down 3 years of probation and 180 hours of community service. The promising student found himself banned from school sports, stripped of his National Honor Society status, and dumped by his girlfriend just before senior prom. The aftermath of his arrest pushed Kutcher into a rebellious phase. During his time at the University of Iowa, his wild parties and chaotic behavior eventually got him evicted from his apartment. Many nights ended in blackouts, with mornings starting in confusion about the previous evening's events. But fate had different plans, and they began to unfold at the Airliner Bar in Iowa City. A chance encounter with a talent scout at the bar led to an unexpected suggestion: modeling. With nothing left to lose, Kutcher entered the Fresh Faces of Iowa modeling competition. His victory there prompted a bold decision, dropping out of biochemical engineering studies to pursue a modeling career in New York City. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches tall, his striking looks caught the attention of several agencies at the International Modeling and Talent Association convention. Though he didn't win the competition, Kutcher secured a contract with Next modeling agency. Soon, his face graced major campaigns for Calvin Klein and Zoo York, but his ambitions stretched beyond the runway. When auditions for a new comedy sitcom in Los Angeles emerged, he took a risk that would define his career. In a stroke of extraordinary luck, he landed roles in 2 different shows on the same day. The first was a 1-hour TV drama about cowboy surfers called Wind on Water. The second was a little show called That 70s Show. Here's where Kutcher's instincts proved sharp. He passed on the surfer drama, which was cancelled after 6 episodes, and embraced the role of Michael Kelso. The character, written specifically to play into Kutcher's natural comedic timing, became his breakthrough. His starting salary on the show, while modest by later standards, marked the beginning of his ascent in Hollywood. But as Kutcher's star began to rise, a darker side of the entertainment industry started to reveal itself. The fresh-faced model-turned-actor found himself navigating increasingly murky waters, particularly when a new project called Punk'd began taking shape. What started as a simple idea for a prank show soon spiraled into a controversy that threatened to derail everything he had built. Could Ashton Kutcher's attempt to revolutionize reality TV end up being his biggest mistake? Behind the pranks, what started as a hidden camera show called Harassment quickly became MTV's biggest nightmare. In January 2002, James and Lori-Ann Ryan checked into the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas for what they thought would be a relaxing vacation. Instead, they walked into a horrifying scene. Their hotel room appeared to be a crime scene, complete with what looked like a dead body surrounded by blood. As they tried to flee, actors posing as security guards blocked their escape, while another pretending to be a paramedic entered the room. The traumatized couple's response wasn't the laughter Kutcher and his production team had hoped for. Instead, it resulted in a $10 million lawsuit against MTV and Kutcher's production company, Catalyst. The Ryans sued for invasion of privacy, emotional distress, and fraud, among other claims. This wasn't even MTV's first brush with prank-related legal trouble. Just 8 months earlier, 2 teenage girls had sued the network after being sprayed with human excrement during the filming of another show called Dude, This Sucks. Despite this rocky start, Kutcher and his team refused to abandon the concept entirely. Instead, they made a crucial pivot. Rather than targeting unsuspecting civilians, they would focus their pranks on celebrities. This reimagined version, renamed Punk'd, debuted in March 2003 with a legendary premiere episode featuring Ashton Kutcher. Justin Timberlake's episode on Punk'd showed him arriving home to find government agents confiscating his possessions over an alleged $900,000 in unpaid taxes. The prank was so convincing that Timberlake nearly broke down in tears, creating what Time magazine later ranked as the 3rd greatest moment in reality TV history. The show's success was immediate and overwhelming, with its 2nd season seeing a 55% increase in viewership, reaching 7.4 million. Meanwhile, Ashton Kutcher's production company, Catalyst, which he co-founded with Jason Goldberg at just 22 years old, was proving to be more than just a vehicle for pranks. Kutcher had recognized early on that producing could offer far greater financial rewards than acting alone, a business acumen that would later serve him in unexpected ways. Punk didn't just succeed, it became a cultural phenomenon. The phrase, "Am I being punked?" became a part of everyday vocabulary, and the mere suggestion that Ashton Kutcher might be hiding nearby with a camera crew became a running joke across America, cementing both the show's and Kutcher's place in pop culture history. However, even as Punk'd reached its peak, Kutcher was privately grappling with a horrific real-life event that would later haunt him. On February 21, 2001, Kutcher was scheduled to pick up Ashley Ellering, a 22-year-old fashion student, for a date. When he arrived at her Hollywood Hills home and received no response to his knocks, he peered through the window and noticed what appeared to be red wine stains on the floor. Assuming she had left because he was running late, he departed. The next day, he learned that the stains were not wine but blood. Ashley had been brutally murdered by Michael Gargiulo, later known as the Hollywood Ripper. In a state of panic, Kutcher immediately contacted the police, telling detectives, "My fingerprints are on the door." The incident haunted him for years, leading to his testimony in court 18 years later. During the trial, Kutcher's account helped establish the timeline of Ashley's murder. However, this tragic event took an even darker turn when new allegations emerged years later. Chrissy Bixler, the girlfriend of Kutcher's That 70s Show co-star Danny Masterson, made cryptic claims on social media, suggesting she had overheard a suspicious phone conversation between Kutcher and Masterson on the night of Ashley's murder. Though unverified, the allegations cast a shadow over an already devastating chapter in Kutcher's life. During this difficult time, Kutcher threw himself into work, and his next project, Just Married with Brittany Murphy, became a turning point. The romantic comedy grossed over $100 million worldwide, and his on-screen chemistry with Murphy led to a brief off-screen romance. However, even success came with criticism, as he received nominations for Worst Actor at the Golden Raspberry Awards for 3 of his 2003 films. In the years following the Ellering tragedy, Kutcher began showing signs of wanting to make a greater impact beyond entertainment. His experiences with loss and violent crime seemed to influence his later dedication to fighting exploitation and abuse. What started as a personal brush with tragedy eventually led him toward an unexpected new chapter, one that took him far from Hollywood and into the world of Silicon Valley. While his acting career flourished, Kutcher was quietly building an empire in the tech world. What started as a curiosity about emerging technologies turned into one of Hollywood's most successful venture capital portfolios. Through early investments in companies like Uber, Airbnb, Skype, and Spotify, Kutcher demonstrated a rare ability to spot the next big thing. His estimated net worth of $200 million only tells part of the story. His true impact reaches far beyond financial gains. However, his most significant pivot came with the founding of Thorn, Digital Defenders of Children, an organization dedicated to fighting child sex trafficking. Under his leadership, Thorn developed Spotlight, a sophisticated software that helps law enforcement identify trafficking victims and track down perpetrators. The impact has been substantial. By 2021, Spotlight had identified 3,977 victims, contributing to the rescue of over 24,000 since its launch. Kutcher's tech ventures even intersected with his personal life in unexpected ways. During the early stages of dating Mila Kunis, she revealed in an interview with Jimmy Kimmel that Kutcher would ask her to test various dating apps under the guise of investment research. His blend of personal and professional interests in technology became a defining characteristic of his relationship. In 2017, his advocacy reached Congress, where he delivered emotional testimony detailing the horrors of child exploitation. He explained how federal agents often needed years to track down traffickers, while Thorne's software could identify them in as little as 3 weeks, or sometimes just 3 days. In 2022, he demonstrated his commitment further by running the New York City